Hello all and welcome back to the channel. Now in this video we're going to discuss the problem with umbrella companies and what does this mean? What are umbrella companies and what do they mean for composite laminators and trimmers around the industry? Now I'm a composite laminator currently working in Formula 1, and if you're wondering why I have a mic on my head, I'm also hoping that this is going to improve the audio a little bit for these videos because it is a bit of a windy day today. Anyway, let's jump straight into this. So, since the rules have been tightened in 2021, the resurgence of umbrella companies have really come onto the market, and they've taken advantage of this third-party position middleman between a contractor and, for example, a Formula 1 team. So what is an umbrella company? Umbrella company is a middleman who does all of the national insurance and takes care of all the taxation for contractors which are employed directly by a Formula 1 team or a supplier company in the UK. Now, what does this mean for composite laminators and trimmers? This means that these umbrella companies do take a lot of fees and essentially don't really provide any advantages to being a contractor inside of IR35 anymore, because you are essentially under the same taxation rules and under the same tax codes as permanent employees, paying the same national insurance as well as paying fees to the umbrella companies to do your books essentially for you, whilst not taking advantages of being a contractor and not really being rewarded for it essentially. Now, whilst I'm not talking about all umbrella companies, I'm sure there are some which are more honest, which are more official and which stick to the law. There are some hidden fees in some of these umbrella companies, and some of these umbrella companies will try and take advantage of you as a contractor by being a middleman and by making a lot of their contracts very long, very hard to grasp and very hard to understand the legal speak in the contracts. There is going to be some hidden fees potentially that you might face and that you might not be aware of until you actually see them in your payslip essentially, week by week. This also ties into unexplained and unclear costs. They might essentially charge you for certain services and certain labour of people at the umbrella companies which you might not be aware of, and in turn you might then be making a lot less than you were promised at the beginning of your contract for whether it's a supplier or a Formula 1 team, aerospace or anything like that. This isn't the problem, and this isn't a fault of a Formula 1 team. This is not a fault of the supplier company you're doing a contract for or an aerospace company. This is something that unfortunately the policies brought by this government and by HMRC of course, and umbrella companies are just a middleman who've just come in and taken advantage of the situation, and it's tough to blame anyone in this apart from the policies being introduced. Now, this in turn does mean that contractors who've been promised a certain rate of pay might lose 20 to 15 to 30% of their gross pay, which is very unfortunate, especially when it comes to certain umbrella companies which will not explain clearly at the beginning of the contract what is the exact weekly pay they're going to be getting. And there's reasons to that, because of course umbrella companies need to make their money somewhere, and being the middleman, they essentially make money off of you as a contractor. I'm not here to provide my opinion, I'm here just to provide the facts of what is really happening in the industry and how it affects us composite laminators and trimmers. But feel free, we can discuss this in the comment section below, and yeah, share your thoughts with me. Now, there is another problem as well. Not all umbrella companies are doing things by the book, and just like many elites and just like many politicians, they will try and take advantages of certain tax breaks and certain ways to bend the rules around the book, right? Some umbrella companies could be running, potentially, speculatively, this is only speculating, a shadow system where they're running offshore accounts and doing their tax outside of the country, meaning they're trying to bypass and bend the rules of paying taxes. Therefore, in turn, in many years after your contract, you could actually be pursued by HMRC for essentially unpaid tax. And this is something that you might be blamed for, because the umbrella company will then cut the ties with you and you wouldn't be aware of this shadow taxation going on in the background because of unclear explanation by these umbrella companies. And it's the same sort of thing as how I would compare it to maybe trading or economy, right? Some economists and some traders will try and make this legal speak so complicated in order to essentially discourage people from looking into this and looking into these contracts and essentially trying to find out what is really happening in the background of these things. And that could then in turn mean that you as a contractor, someone who's honestly trying to use their labor and their skill and their passion to essentially earn money and survive on this planet, and you could be punished for it without even realizing that you've done anything wrong, basically. And I understand that so many contractors and people haven't got time or energy to even research into it, because it takes so much energy out of you, and especially in a world that already takes so much energy out of us in fast-paced industries like composites. I understand that this isn't something that a lot of people research into, and I'm here to maybe just sort of bring a little bit of exposure to this and what's going on around the system. So let me know your thoughts on umbrella companies. Let me know your thoughts on your experiences with umbrella companies. Now, I haven't always had bad experiences with umbrella companies. I've had also good experiences with them. However, still, it's something that is affecting us as composite laminators and trimmers as contractors. And back in the day, in the past, I'm sure it would have been more beneficial being outside of IR35 than with these new rules being brought in. So yeah, let me know your thoughts if you're a composite laminator or a trimmer or even a fitter in the industry, in the UK or in Europe, and what your thoughts are on the umbrella companies. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, not just for me, but for all of us, composite laminators, trimmers and fitters around the industry. Like I said, let's use this channel as something of a community, something where we can share our thoughts, share our opinions, our knowledge and skills. And yeah, hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.